Hey guys, I wanted to give you the results of the social experiment that I conducted yesterday. For those of you who weren't aware, I posted a post yesterday on Facebook and left it up just for an hour, and I posted the question for people to answer: do you believe in God? And the only real criteria or things to consider around the question was that you were strictly limited to a yes or a no answer, and that by God, what I was referring to was God. And I was not referring to the universe or source of all that is, or whatever other word you want to say that is both safe and generic. I was specifically referring to God. And of course, there are interpretations around that word, but I wanted to leave it solely around the connection with that word, as one may connect to God, but not with religion, even though there is a powerful association. And I was interested to see, really, just from a pure God point of view, where people sat in Facebook land, gathering, of course, that there was probably a little bit of a skew with the answers according to my profile, because there probably would be a bit of a bent towards the yes on my personal friends list, but I was curious, and more so just for the answer itself, I was curious to really highlight something within the answer. And so I thought I would just share with you guys exactly what we came up with. And thank you for everyone who replied to that post and got on really quick. And here's what we came up with. I took 40 people, and it was the first 40 people basically who responded to the post in that hour who gave me a nice clean yes or no to the answer, do you believe in God? And of course there wasn't a right or wrong, it was just a nice clean yes or no. And so the first 40 people who responded to that post yesterday are the ones that I drew from. And following that, I posted a secondary question, and it was just to those 40 people who answered that question yes or no. And the follow-up question was this: how wholly fulfilled are you that life is what you wanted it to be, or that life is what you want it to be right now? How wholly fulfilled are you in life and in your life? And I asked people to rate their answer to that question out of 10, 1 being wholly unsatisfied, 10 being completely satisfied with life and my life. And so I got those same 40 people to respond with a rating 1 out of 10, exactly how satisfied they are in their life, and they also did that. And I wanted to correlate those answers to obviously produce some sort of an indication, or to show if there is a correlation between happiness and a belief in God. And I was interested to see whether there was any information that would be presented in this very random group of 40 people, whether they believed in God or not, and whether their current sense of happiness in their life and in life in general had any kind of connection to that, or if we could draw any conclusions based on the information that we got. And so, of the 40 people who replied to both questions, 33 said that they do believe in God as the name or the word God. 7 said that they do not believe in God. So that's a fairly strong side to the yes, but I guess in my friends list that may be a little more expected, although 33 to 7 is quite a high number of people that quite comfortably align to the word and the name God. That's interesting to know. And so of the 33 people who do believe in God, 10 people, almost a third, rated their satisfaction with life and their personal life as a 10 out of 10. So almost a third of the people who do believe in God are more than satisfied with life and their life. The average the average was 9, believe it or not, with the lowest score of people who do believe in God and their satisfaction with their own life being 6.5. But I would say that above 6.5, the next number jumped straight to 8. The average was 9 in terms of satisfaction with life and life in general. That's a pretty high proportion of people who are well satisfied, between 8 and 10 in a self-rating of satisfaction with life and their life. Regardless of God or not, I think that's quite a high number of people that seem fairly well satisfied and at peace. But of course, the contrast was shown in the other answers and in the pool of the other answers, which were the people that said no, they do not believe in God, of which we had 7 people of the 40, and so certainly around 20%, or probably a little less than that. And so, of that number of 7 people who do not believe in God, one person rated their life as a 10 out of 10 and stated that their personal satisfaction with life in their life was a 10. However, the average for the folks that did not believe in God was a 7. And the lowest numbers were a 2. And let me say that the most interesting thing of all of this was that out of the 7, 3 people of the 7 rated their personal satisfaction in life and their life as a 2, 2, and a 3. That means almost 50% of the people who do not believe in God rated their personal satisfaction in life and their life right now as a 3 or below, majority being a 2. Of course, I had a personal interest in discovering the information. I had an agenda solely around the interest, but I certainly didn't project that agenda in any way in terms of gathering this data. The top 40 people responded perfectly. It was all random. It was a random hour. It was only an hour in the day. I think it's a little telling, you know. I thought it was just a very simple social experiment, because I guess the conclusion that I would simply draw from it and would put to you for your consideration is the point of the experiment, and that is the connection, the relationship between your personal satisfaction with life and your life, and really how happy are you, and whether you have a relationship and a connection to God or not. There is obviously some sort of a correlation within that, and I would be very interested for you to consider that for yourself, particularly if you are one of the folks that really rated life quite low at the moment, and saying you're quite not satisfied right now, and that you do not believe in God. I would put it to you just to consider that there may be a correlation between those two things. For we have seen out of 33 out of 40 people, almost a third rated their personal satisfaction in life 10 out of 10. There may just be something in that, and I guess don't be scared to at least ask yourself a question, particularly if you are quite fired up and triggered and charged around God, and you are very anti-God and quite happy to not have God in your life, but you are otherwise quite unhappy. Perhaps there is something that you're missing. Was really just an experiment to pose a question and just to highlight an area that you might not have made the connection in, because I would assure you that a whole lot of the people who do believe in God will have made that connection and will say quite openly and consciously that a good chunk of their satisfaction in life and in their life is because of their relationship to God. And so it's just a bit of food for thought, just something to chew on a Friday as we do. Blessings. Let me know what you think about all of that.